account executive at Market Mentors, a full-service marketing firm in West Springfield.
And I'm Michael Williams. I'm the owner of Glexia Incorporated. We're a full-service IT company based in Amherst, Massachusetts.
And we're the guest co-hosts on today's episode of Strictly Biz News. Thanks for stopping by and come check it out.
Welcome to Strictly Biz News. I am here with Brittany and Michael. Guys, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
We are at the Strictly Business office, so welcome to the show. And as normal, we'll get right into the hot topics. First up, Google begins war with Windows. They've been battling Microsoft and Apple and everyone and their mother anyway. But now I guess they're focusing on just Windows. And pretty much Google, they're pretty much saying with PCs, with Mac and Windows programming, you need a PC and you need internet. They're kind of coming up with a product that will eliminate the PC so you can work from cloud, per se. It's set to launch on June 15th, so, I mean,
And they're saying the average desktop computer costs companies between $3,000 to $5,000, and laptops cost even more for these companies. And their whole idea is to actually provide these laptops, these computers, as a service. So they'll say, hey, for 20 bucks a month or $28 a month, if you're a private corporation, you can have a laptop, you can have full support, you can have all your data stored in the cloud, so if your computer crashes, oh, here's a new one, and all your data's back on there magically. So it's an easy way to back up your data.
yeah. They're calling it Chrome OS, which, you know, Microsoft is actually launching Office 365, which is kind of going to be enhancing the cloud a lot. It's the next Microsoft Office group that they're launching out. I guess they're not doing any more of the actual CDs and programs. So that's kind of along the same lines, but I mean...
But interestingly enough, that's actually going to work on the cloud. So Office 365, for those companies that want to use Word and Excel, can actually still use that on the Chrome OS system.
Yeah.
And also, Google's partnering with Citrix. They provide virtualization software to allow you to run actual Windows or Macintosh applications on that computer. So those legacy applications that companies are using are still actually going to run on Chrome OS if they choose. And the big thing right now, though, is Chrome is facing an upward battle in the market. 90% of companies are actually using Windows. And of those companies, about 50% of those companies are still using Windows XP. And the reason for that, at least Google is saying, is that these companies have a lot of cost affiliated with that. It's expensive to upgrade and to actually put new software on their computers, so they're using these old pieces of software.
Yeah.
Google also did a study and said that 75% of business would actually switch to Chrome OS, so they know at least that there's a market out there that would switch. I think it's a great idea. I think it's good for Google for taking the next step. I think everyone kind of assumed that they would go into this market. There's really only two main operating systems right now, Windows and Apple, and so why not? I mean,
Well, this is going to screw everyone over for snow days. Like, no more snow days.
Yeah.
You're working from home now, people,
Yeah.
so...
And some of the other problems affiliated with that is you have the cloud and the security issue with the cloud. Okay,
Yeah.
what happens if, you know, Google gets hacked? There was a famous incident a couple months ago where some Chinese hackers got in there and started taking over Gmail. You know,
Right.
with all this information centralized, what kind of security threats and redundancy these companies have? It's much harder to hack into an entire company's individual desktop computers. But when you can compromise one Google Cloud and have access to half the organization, that's a potential security threat that really needs to be thought about and adjusted.
yeah.
Next up, the business of cougars. That's right, I said cougars. The 40-plus women going after younger men. There's a business. It's pretty much what they're saying. This is there's a phenomenon that, you know, the whole cougar thing has launched businesses. It's helped businesses hit a new target. It's pretty much helping the economy. So cougars, thank you for helping the economy.
They're calling it the lady predator lifestyle.
Yeah. And it's expanding into books, television, movies. Like, it's just so much stuff it's grown to that it's actually really funny.
There's a huge travel market for it too. Cruises around,
Yes.
you know, just for cougars.
Didn't they launch a Miss Cougar too?
Yeah, there's a Miss
There
Cougar,
is.
you know, beauty contest or whatever it is.
Actually
I'm not
started
sure.
in Palo Alto, California, then it expanded across the states, and they actually had a cougar, you know, get together or whatever, where the cougars competed for this title, and people paid upwards of $20 for an admission ticket to watch these Cougars battle it out in person for the title Miss Cougar.
And some are over 70 years old, which is crazy.
Can they still be a Cougar at 70 years old?
I guess so.
They're saying that
She's a widow, she probably has money, she's probably working out.
If you're 20-something and you're going after a 70-year-old, I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you.
Yes, there is.
Seriously.
They're actually saying the Cougar market segment, well, the 51 plus woman market segment is the largest market segment in terms of population in the United States, which is
So it's a huge market, and their buying power is also crazy.
But it's not just like you think about the books and the traveling. It's the clubs that they're actually going into and they're paying money for, and they hold all the events for Cougars. And,
right.
I mean, luckily, not luckily, Western Mass doesn't have anything yet. But it's really like, I mean, when you think of like Cougar, you just think of someone really just trying to get like a hookup with a young guy, and that's it. But they're really like taking this into, a lifestyle per se, not so much of just a one fling thing.
And it was definitely celebrity driven, the whole phenomenon now. People like Demi Moore dating Ashton Kutcher, Katie Couric, I'm not sure who she's dating or married to, but it must be a younger guy. And Samantha Jones from Sex and the City, kind of just portraying that Cougar lifestyle. Older woman with money, can make her own decisions, but likes to date a younger man.
some of the books that have come out, interesting titles. We have Dating a Cougar, Hot Cougar Sex, Christian Cougar, and Real Life Cougar Courtney Cox, Cougar Town.
I wonder what's the difference.
Sounds like an
I know what's the
oxymoron to
difference
me.
between the Christian Cougar and like a Jewish Cougar. Like I don't know.
And they're saying, the experts are saying, you can't believe there's Cougar experts, but they're saying that this industry is actually cub driven. So the male counterpart of these Cougars is called a cub. And it's a combination of these cubs and the Cougars that are propelling this market segment to actually grow.
Right.
And some of these experts have actually named the cubs. For example, we have fetish cubs, mama's boys cubs, and cubs who just want to tell a story to their friends.
It's true.
Oh man.
Oh, and we even have, interestingly enough, last point for this, but we have actually a TV show. It's called Cougar Hunting or something like that, where they actually watch real-life cougar hunters go out and try to find some cougars and actually
Like younger men like throwing darts at the Cougars and.
Well, I think it's more of a seduction type thing.
I know.
Maybe for the
Not
fetish,
like a
fetish
rifle,
clubs we have that, but
Well, going back to the media playing a big role in this too, there's also Cougar Town, which is Courtney
Right.
Cox.
Yeah.
And then a long time ago there was American Pie. And what's his name on American Pie?
Stifler.
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom,
Stifler's
yeah.
mom on the pool table. We all remember that. So
and Norwegian Cruise Lines has a custom cougar cruise. So for all you cougars out there, you can get on a cougar cruise, check it out. I think it's about
Tell them Strictly
$1,500.
Business sent you.
You do get a 2% referral on that. So. But we even had a custom app out there that people are working on. I don't know if it's an app yet, but it should be. Cougar Hotspot Locator, where you get all the best cougar locations and prowling areas, and you can subscribe to the service. They're talking.
I think
about.
Google is coming up with a Google Cougar map.
I think
So
they are.
you can type in your location as like location Cougar here, there.
right.
Exactly.
And the Cougars would have to check in, and then
Yep,
other
exactly.
businesses could try to give them
Cougar
tips.
Square. Get that.
RateACougar.com. Review your latest cougar hookup, and that way you can spread the cougar wealth a little bit.
You heard it here first.
Exactly. Next up, 10 CEOs that got rich by cutting jobs. So corporate profits grew 38.8% in 2010, the biggest increase since 1950. But they're still laying off people. And the CEOs are still earning 20% more than they did in 2009. So I mean, this is nuts. I'm gonna list off the 10 CEOs real quick. Michael Duke from Walmart, Jeffrey Immelt from General Electric, Angela Braley from WellPoint. Obviously, if you guys have been watching the show, you guys know I'm probably butchering all these names. Mark Parker from Nike, Hugh Grant from Monsanto, Greg DeBal from Gannett, Clarence Otis Jr. from Darwin Restaurants, Gary M. Roddick from Conagra Foods, Keith Wandell from Harley Davidson, and Peter Lynch from Winn-Dixie. So they cut jobs so they can earn more in their pocket.
Part of the problem here is the incentive structure created by the boards of directors actually incentivize cost cutting. So essentially, when you tie incentives to cutting costs, these CEOs have a great incentive to say, hey, I only have 100,000 people. It doesn't affect me, and my bonus just tripled.
Yeah.
So if you want to stop that, they have to change the incentive structure for these CEOs.
What I thought was crazy was one of the largest health insurance companies, WellPoint, actually took away their employees' health insurance.
Really?
What a coincidence.
Yeah, that's a little ironic.
An interesting. Sorry.
So,
go ahead.
so where would they go then? If they didn't get it from, they'll be
Blue Cross Blue
like,
Shield, I'm
they'll-
sure.
Yeah, they'll be like, it's like I'm getting my insurance elsewhere.
Yeah. You can just tell that these companies don't have their employees' best interest. If it weren't for their employees and the people behind them, they wouldn't be where they are today. I understand cutting jobs, I understand getting rid of efficiencies, but if it's to the point of putting more money in your pocket, it's just not the right way to go.
No.
Especially when you know that this is public knowledge and things like this are going to get posted and people like us are going to talk crap
And
about
make
you.
fun of you. So, yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I haven't heard of a couple of these, but I mean, so Nike, he got more of a raise, 84% raise, and it's about realigning the business for the future, and they cut 1,750 jobs from 2009 to 2010,
well,
and it's all about
hopefully-
aligning the future. Well, align the shoe right, because some of the shoes don't even fit good.
Yeah, and hopefully some of those jobs were the sweatshops in Mexico. That
No, I doubt it. They didn't.
those are the only ones that kept.
Interestingly enough, GE also did not pay any federal income tax. Their tax liability
Yeah,
was one of the largest in the United States, and they didn't pay $1 to the government. Not $1 of public services are being funded by GE, despite the enormous use that they have of the infrastructure, the amount of power they're using, the amount of roads they're using to transport their goods.
Right.
They didn't pay $1 due to their very good tax people, I would say.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic. It's the end of the road for Saab. I've known a couple people that have had Saab. My college roommate Jess has a Saab. But they were bought from Spyker, which is a Dutch company.
Well, Spyker actually owns them. Spyker bought Saab from
yeah.
GE, right?
Yeah. I think it was a year ago.
Yeah,
And-
2010.
Yeah, and they just haven't, they're in debt $142 million. They were planning to sell 80,000 Saabs in 2011, and they're saying that they're not even come close to it this year.
Correct.
I mean, I've seen a couple of the new redesigns, and I mean, I'm not a fan. I know they're good cars, but I don't know. I feel like this is going to be the next Saturn or the next, what other cars got cut? I don't even know. Pontiac. It's the end of the road. Like, you got other companies like Toyota and Honda, and even Ford is coming out with better cars with more efficiency and better costs. And Saab is just Saab. I don't know.
They said that they haven't turned a profit in over 20 years. So, I mean, 20 years.
Yeah. Well, when
can't-
Spyker,
you
when Spyker
Spyker bought them.
Yeah, when Spyker bought them, the director was just like on his knees, like, please give us one more year. Like, we
Right.
promise, we'll do better. Obviously, it hasn't gotten better. So.
I think it's more about just the designs of the cars and how they look. It's the leadership, it's their manufacturing processes, it's their marketing.
Yeah.
I never see marketing for Saab.
I used to see commercials a couple years ago, and the whole the engine from the airplane for the cars,
Right.
whatever. That was
Right.
years ago. I haven't seen anything lately.
And to me, it's kind of just like they've given up. Toyota has had their problems, Ford has had their problems, all their recalls, everything like that. But it's a chance for them to make it better.
Yeah.
And their marketing is awesome. They're telling a story through all of their commercials, and Saab is just kind of sitting back and not doing
Hoping for the
much.
best.
Yeah.
I mean, interestingly enough, their situation is so bad that any one of the creditors could take them in the bankruptcy court and win right away. But it's so bad that the creditors aren't going to get anything back. There's really not secure capital the creditors are going to recoup. So they're all sitting there twiddling their thumbs, hoping for a miracle to come by. And the Chinese investment firm was supposed to pump about 150 million euros approximately into the company, and that deal didn't go through. And now people are blaming the current CEO for sort of speaking his mind about the deals before they actually went through, before he secured the financial regulations to allow that to go through. So they're questioning his business savviness and his business sense overall. He had a company that failed prior to starting Spryker here.
Yeah. So if you're driving a Saab, you're
Sorry.
so old. I mean, I don't even know any Saab dealers locally.
No.
I test drove one when I was looking for a car 2 years ago, but in my mind, I mean, nothing against foreign cars, I know there's awesome ones, but just the hassle of having to deal with foreign parts and the
Yeah.
expense in that, it just kind of turned me off, so.
GMC all the way.
Woo.
It's
I
a
know you have a
Saab story.
Ford. I know you have. No. Anyway, we'll end on that high note from Brittany. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. We'll be right back with the spotlight on Open Square.
Cambridge Credit Counseling is a nonprofit credit and housing counseling agency located right here in Western Massachusetts. Our certified counselors can help you plan to pay off your credit card debt, explore your foreclosure options, and help you understand if a reverse mortgage is right for you. Call us at 1-800-CAMBRIDGE to learn how we can help.
Open Square in Holyoke, Massachusetts is a mixed-use development that's home to 50 businesses and growing. Tenants include a cafe, hair salon, law offices, accountants, design firms, and more. There's always art hanging in the office floor galleries, and Open Square's custom build-out looks really great. Open Square also has a beautiful event space that can hold up to 250 guests. Visit Open Square online at opensquare.com to learn more. And I'm here with John from Open Square. John, before Open Square, what did you do?
I was working and living in New York City as an architect, working on a variety of projects, commercial projects, projects at the airport, projects for universities.
Okay, and when did you decide to come back to Western Mass for Open Square?
I moved up here in 1999 to take on this project. It's a building or a complex of buildings that have been in my family for a number of years. So I started the project a little bit before then, but I actually moved up in 1999.
Okay, so what's been the hardest part so far?
The hardest part has been juggling all the different components. Open Square is a very large property. We've got an entire block, and in addition to developing the real estate, there are a number of components that are critical to our operation that we've done. We've run the cafe briefly for a while. We have an event space where we hold and market for events. We're starting a farmer's market in the next couple of weeks. So there are a lot of elements to this project that go beyond the real estate development.
So what is your favorite part?
My favorite part is watching it grow and doing the design work. I do most of the design work in the building, and just being part of something that's really starting to take off and meeting so many different people and different businesses that come to Holyoke, come to Open Square.
So for any of the businesses or the professionals watching right now, why should they consider moving their business to Open Square?
Open Square is really a great location. If you drew a circle around Western Massachusetts and put your pin in the center of it, Holyoke would be in the center of it, so we're very easy to get to. There are a lot of options for people to live in Holyoke and around Holyoke, so it's great for people who are looking for employees that have a wider range. Also, it's a great environment. We have a real variety of different businesses that work here. We have retail, we have a ballet school, a yoga studio, we have a number of technology firms. So it's a real mix, and the environment is very creative.
Is there anything else you want to tell the viewers?
Open Square is zero net energy. We actually generate 0.5 megawatt of electricity through 2 hydroelectric generators. We are, as far as I can tell, the largest zero net energy building in the country that holds different kinds of businesses. So if you want to be green, come to Open Square.
Great. And what's the website if they want to check out the available space you have?
www.opensquare.com.
Okay, great. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. And I want to thank Brittany and Michael for coming on today. I want to thank John from Open Square for the spotlight. I had a great episode today. Make sure you go to strictlybusiness.com, check out more news and information on what's coming up for the business channel. So stay tuned, lots coming up, and we'll see you guys next time.